Do you know what's going on? I'm really confused now because usually when you have a series, it goes all series start at the same time and they sort of finish at the same time, and then there's like a mid filler kind of season also where there are a different string of other series, right? But now it seems like Superstore has just started out of nowhere. It's like not in sync with the what is going on. I have no idea. What is the new? Is this a
Yeah.
new thing?
Here's what's happening. As we've moved away, it used to be such that when it came to popular TV shows, Thursday was your prime slot. You really wanted to shove your shows on Thursday between 8 to 10 p.m.
Okay.
And that was where CBS, ABC, Fox, CW, and NBC, they all would shove all their shows into that time prime slot. And famous shows that have gone in that slot would see are shows like Desperate Housewives, CSI, Friends, things like that, where
Right.
we all know them and we love them. But what's happened now, and we talked about this previously, was
Right.
streaming. Streaming has come into play, and DVRing things. So when you DVR a thing, you can save it for later. So now there is no like summer where people take off, and they don't want to. They're all going to travel, and they're not going to watch the show because practically nobody watches live anymore. I know it's sad, but nobody does because we want to sometimes skip through things that are boring. I don't want to say commercials, but we want to skip through other things, and because of that, we want to watch it at our own time. So because of that, it doesn't matter anymore whether it's a Thursday, whether it's a Monday, whether it's a Saturday even. It doesn't really
Right.
matter anymore because people are still going to say, oh, it's on a Saturday at 8 o'clock. All right, I'll tape it and I'll watch it when I'm free. And it could be anytime. It could
So-
be 2 a.m.
So in the same respect, the season can start anytime.
Anytime at all. Anytime.
Wow.
Yes, shows in general are still following main season shows from the five major networks
Right.
still begin in the fall. And when we talk about fall, it's normally around the end of August, start of September season. It's all around there. There is also a mid-season pickup, which
Right.
happens around January.
Right. That's
And
when
that's
they go on
when-
break and then they pick
That's
up.
when they
right?
go on break, and those shows would generally be big ticket items for a lot of major companies like The Voice, like American Idol, like Dancing with the Stars, stuff like that. But what's happening now is that sometimes if a show isn't as popular and they pull it early, they'll have a mid-season replacement for
I
the show.
see.
Or sometimes they will just decide nowadays that, you know what, a show like Superstore or another show that's just been released, which is a sitcom called Telenovela starring Eva Longoria.
Oh, wow.
And it's hilarious. It's also a mid-season, and it just began
Wow.
last week, and it's very strange that they're doing all this, but now anything goes. One thing that they do adhere to still is major holidays. So when it comes to major holidays like Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year, Chinese New Year unfortunately doesn't work for them, but
Unless you're in
those
Fresh Off the Boat, I don't know if that.
Maybe,
no, who knows?
maybe,
Black
but-
Friday was even featured in Scream Queens.
yes, exactly,
Which is-
And
yeah.
when it comes to those major holidays like Halloween and all that, they will actually show the episode a little before Halloween. They show the Christmas episode a little before Christmas, and then Christmas and New Year, there's practically no major new episode. There are no new episodes for it, and then
Right.
it'll come back during the season. For example, a show like Once Upon a Time, you'd expect, okay, it's taking the Christmas break, it's taking the New Year break, and it should come back in January. It does not. It actually comes back at the end of March.
Really?
So,
Oh yeah, March 6th from what I.
Oh,
I think
March
so.
6th then. So it's already, yeah. So
Yeah.
you never really know when they're going to come back. But then when that happens, what takes its place? A show like New Girl begins at the start of January and didn't have a fall
Right.
broadcast at all. So that is filling a gap where some other show is on break. And I just saw Fresh Off the Boat, and a theater actress that played my mom in Singapore Repertory Theater's Sing to the Dawn
Right.
in 1996.
Ria- what's her
June
name?
Angela. Her
June
name is June.
Angela. She's
And
in-
she was in Fresh Off the Boat,
Wow.
playing the female lead, the mom's fortune teller that she swears by. And
Wow.
yeah, so that was pretty cool
That's
to watch
so
her.
cool.
in
I
that,
have a
yeah.
friend in that too. She plays Chelsea Crisp. She plays.
Chelsea Chris is amazing in that show.
She's-
Watch Fresh Off the Boat. I have friends who hate the show, but I love it, and it doesn't offend me at all. It's awesome.
Right. I only watched the first episode, but I intend to watch more.
It's very good. It's very good. Yeah.
Yay, cool. And then so Superstar you haven't. I actually would recommend it. I like the first episode so
Oh.
far. Yeah.
No,
Uh,
you can't get me hooked on another show.
Well, you
I have
got
too
me hooked
many.
on so many shows. I've never actually recommended you a show aside from Mozart in the Jungle and this one.
And I haven't picked up any of
you
your
have
shows
to-
yet,
I
so
know
maybe
why,
I
what's
do have
going
to.
on.
Yeah, I know.
What do you watch at the moment?
What do I watch? Oh, good gracious. I spend a lot of time watching home improvement shows and food food
Iron
and
Chef
travel.
America?
Yeah, I watch Iron Chef. I watch Cooking at Cutthroat
Travel.
Kitchen. I watch.
Cutthroat Kitchen.
Yeah, basically, it's
Sounds like a horror.
It's crazy. Basically, the contestants have to sabo each other. So
What a horrible
and
premise.
to buy a trick to sabo someone else, you gotta pay money. They actually start off with a whole stack of money, $25,000 each, and in order to buy the sabo, they gotta bid for it, and then the other
Wow.
people will have to, depending on the theme of the day. I mean, I've seen some of them. They have to wear like cars, and they bump into each other because the cars are then they have to cook.
While
Some of
wearing
them,
the cars.
yeah, or some of them have all their kitchen utensils taken away, and they have to make utensils from aluminum foil.
Wow.
I mean, it's ridiculous. So it's quite
That's horrible.
fun.
So
yeah.
Cutthroat Kitchen, and then so what are some of the other things what's the most elaborate sabo that you've seen so far? That it's the cart one, is it? Or
Yeah, or there was one where they had to put on these outfits that had kitchen utensils on them.
Uh-huh.
But before they
Sort
can
of like what
use
City did.
yeah, so
Anyway.
before you can use the utensils,
Uh-huh.
you have to walk the catwalk, which is a conveyor belt. So you have to stop what you're doing, put on the outfit, walk the catwalk, pause, and the cameras will flash. Then you can cook, but you maybe have a spatula on your shoulder. Then you have
Oh
to,
my god.
you know. Yeah.
So you do have to have a little bit of a mean streak to
Oh
like
yeah,
this
I mean
show,
the people
right? I
are
mean, it's-
so mean. No, I'm not mean. That's why I watch other people be mean because
Okay.
I would never be able to do it myself.
Mhm. Would you join the show though?
No, I can't cook at the level that those guys can. These are professional chefs, and you have to be professional, I think, because you really are thrown through the. I mean, you're put through the ringer with all the
Right.
tricks and the sabos,
But
right?
but that's also interesting because the debate to me is like, if you're professional, why would you put yourself through this like bit of a
To win
mockery
the
of-
money,
Oh.
because it's $25,000. So it's really
Right.
strategy. Because number one, you have to use your money to bid for the sabos, right? So
Right,
that you can
right.
trick everyone else, so that you have an advantage. So you can kind of carry on cooking while everyone has to deal with whatever horrible things they have lined up for them. There was another one where all their fresh ingredients, because they have a grocery store, and then you can get all your fresh produce, all your ingredients to make the dish, and the dish is stipulated. Today you're going to make tacos or whatever, and then they go and get, and then they start cooking. But then
Uh-huh.
as the cooking continues, then all these different sabos come along the way. So there was one where they had all their fresh stuff taken away, and they had to use a vending machine to buy like
The
bits and pieces to try and put together
Oh my
a dish.
God.
So
And the vending machine products were not fresh, like.
No,
were just,
all
this is
processed
just like
food.
processed food.
So I mean, really
Wow,
challenging
cool.
for the chefs. So I mean, so that's why I say it's strategy. You either try and keep all the money so that you have more money in case you do win, then you get to keep whatever you have. But at the same time, if people are saboing you, you got to sabo them back.
Right.
Otherwise, you constantly be slowed down by all the different things that you have to deal with. So it's a really madcap competition.
Have you watched one I recommend about the industry? Since you're watching Dwayne Smith's I would assume you're really interested in the industry and how it works. If you haven't caught it, it's an Amazon special. I think it's their first series called Mozart in the Jungle.
Oh, you were telling me about this.
I was, and you haven't
I
watched
haven't.
it yet.
Bernadette
It's really-
Peters?
Bernadette Peters is in it, a legendary musical theater actress. It's a really good reflection of what is really going on. I think it's the most honest that I've seen so far about what our industry is about. As compared to things like Glee or Smash, or it really has much more of those layers that are not in Smash, for example. So I like that. What are you watching now, Caleb? And what do you recommend?
Okay. All
I
right.
don't need my script for this. I can just I don't need my notes. I'm just I'm ready.
Well, I'm actually watching American Horror Story Hotel, which is the very
Season
first
5.
Season 5 is the incantation of American Horror Story, which is an horror anthology series that changes locations every season but uses the same cast in different roles. And this season we are introduced to a lead role played by Lady Gaga, and she is actually excellent, and congratulations to her on her Golden Globe nomination for this particular role. So
Wow.
it's it's a really good series, and it also has a lot
Cheyenne
of
Jackson's in it. Is he?
Cheyenne Jackson is in
Cheyenne
it.
Jackson,
Matt
yeah.
Bomer is in it. If you
Right.
if you know who Matt
Cheyenne
Bomer
Jackson's
is.
from musical theater in general, like so.
Yeah,
So
and Matt Bomer is from White Collar, the TV series, as well as a few other things, and he's a Ryan Murphy favorite as well. So
Right.
so it's been fabulous to watch. Angela Bassett is anything that comes out of her mouth is just pure gold. So
Right.
so it's great.
And speaking of Ryan Murphy, who's the creator for this series, and also for Glee, and also for Scream Queens, which we follow, which you recommended, and now I'm hooked on it, and I just finished watching season 1, but I haven't heard that there's going to be a season 2. Is there going to be a season 2? It's sort of in the air right now, right?
It's in the air, but they have not actually released any information on whether they are it's gonna happen. I am not sure at the moment. It could go either way, but I don't think the announcements will happen until the start of next year, or maybe February or March. And the reason for that is because sometimes they allow series to breathe before they do a whole overhaul, unless it's so monumentally bad that it gets cancelled after like 2 to 3 episodes, which does happen.
Yeah,
but Scream Queens was allowed to play out its full 13 episode series, which was what it was purchased for. They didn't extend it. They
Right.
didn't cut it short.
Gonna
There
ask-
are truly too many shows out there to be
There
able to
are.
embrace
I'm
them
just
all.
like
Yeah.
in my more free time now. I'm just trying to catch up on everything, and it's just a lot. I'm watching. Let's say this, I don't know if you're watching any of these. Like Bates Motel's on hiatus. Devious Maids on hiatus, which you also recommended to
I
me.
love it, yeah.
And then I'm watching Supergirl right now, which is actually
I love it.
You
I love it. It's a
Oh,
great show.
I
It's a
didn't realize
great
you were
show.
watching it.
Yeah.
Because it's a superhero thing, and I'm not usually into that. But it has so much. So guys, like this is one of my recommendations actually. It has so much heart. Usually a series like that are pretty episodic, like especially with superheroes. It's just like one villain, in out, and the character doesn't develop. But this one, they've got an underlying progressive sort of plot going. The characters and information is unfolding slowly about what's really going on in between the villain per episode sort of situation, and that's very nice. It's got a lot of heart.
Yeah. They've actually done a good job with a lot of the superhero shows. I mean, Supergirl is particularly good, but I highly recommend, if you haven't started,
Daredevil?
do follow Daredevil, follow Jessica Jones, which is brilliant. And if you want more mainstream stuff, Supergirl is good, but in the same universe and from the same creators are Arrow, The Flash, as well as next season's very new, the Legends of Tomorrow, which will have a lot of the characters that appear in Arrow as well as the Flash. And
Wow.
they're all good superhero series. That universe is getting larger and larger. It really is. Yeah.
Right. That's so. Where do you find all the time to watch these shows?
Okay, now that I'm in Singapore, a lot of the time I'm traveling on public transport and the MRT and all that, and I have tons of time to have it on my iPad. I'm just watching this show as I go on.
Oh, you don't need that kind of like. For me, I have to watch it in a private, quiet space.
No,
and,
I don't need to.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
of course, I don't affect other people. I have my earplugs on, so
Right.
so that's pretty cool. Yeah.